Environmental and economic viability are under threat in remote inland Australia. Controlling invasive species is essential to maintain a future for a sustainable environment and viable land use. Desert Channels Queensland, with funding from the Australian Government, invests in research into cost-effective control. DCQ's current 2-year project, ending in 2019, is identifying the most efficient use of chemical control against invasive species. Rubber vine and bellyache bush are weeds of national significance. Both are restricted invasive plants under the Biosecurity Act, and by law, all reasonable steps must be taken to control the weeds under the landholder's general biosecurity obligation. Misting is providing a cost-effective control measure for infestations of both rubber vine and bellyache bush. Desert Channels Queensland's current 2-year project, ending in 2019, is developing techniques for the use of misters and to test effectiveness of recommended chemicals. The trial has required the modification of misters to suit the harsh conditions of Western Queensland. Under the right conditions, misting with water-based herbicides is an economic and effective control measure. A mister feeds a small stream of chemical mix into the high-volume airflow of the mister, where it is atomised and blown towards target plants as a mist. Good results are being achieved, and the results will form the basis of new permit applications.
Rubber vine out on the river flats. It's a bush, it's probably 2 metres high, and it's easy with the mister because you just put your nozzle out to blow into the middle of the bush and you keep moving. Rubber vine is like most of our plants, it flourishes on the rain, so we're looking at probably March, April and into May for rubber vine. Well, bellyache bush, the bush part of it gives it away. It grows probably to about 2 metres high. It grows along riparians and out on the floodplains, and unlike prickly acacia, the leaf is opened and accessible to chemical all day. Bellyache bush grows in a variety of habitats. Sometimes it's just bellyache bush by itself, and other times you have a lot of native species there. The 2 chemicals that we're using are very native kind. We will get a bit of brown leaf or brown out, and but all your natives recover. Is that the rubber vine leaves do not open and shut. So as we go into the cooler months, if the plant is still alive and growing well, it opens itself up to be misted all day. We find rubber vine is in major watercourses, and it has a habit of growing up your native tree. So instead of only being 1 metre or 2 off the ground, you can find it 3 or 4 or 5 metres up a tree, which makes misting a bit of a challenge. The machine we got behind us, the buggy with the mister on the trailer, we find fairly handy in rough terrain, and we've been getting into areas where we would struggle to get a tractor, a bigger tractor, because if you're using a tractor mister, you need a tractor at least 60 horsepower, you know, and that's a bit of size. So, but it comes back horses for courses. With misting, it's obviously we're using chemicals that are native friendly, and then you aim your mister up into the bottom of the tree where all your rubber vine leaf is, and we're aiming, that's how we do it, yeah. Before we start, we like to run our areas, work out where we're going. We mark out 400 metre sections, and then in the mornings you arrive, you fill your mister with water, add your chemicals and your wetting agent, and then agitate. Poke off to where you want to start. Get your mister at the right level, and the ideal we find is don't aim for the top of the tree and don't aim for the bottom of the trees. You kind of get into the middle, just in about the middle, and you can see the spray curling through your trees. We get along at a slow walking pace, and we just find it fits the spot for what we're doing. The rate for misting is, and it's for all the misting, whether you're using whatever tree you're killing, it is 1 litre per metre. So some misters have got a 400 litre tank, so you do 400 metres. Over the trials we've found that the most effective range or distance out from your mister is 20 metres into the trees. We've been trialling a variety of chemicals, but we're now using brush off and stinger together, combined together with a wetting agent. We're still in the trial process, and once we finalise and happy with the results, well, we'll probably apply for an off-label permit. Yeah, in the field, why misting stands out is that it's fairly cost-effective. It's a water-based chemical, so it's obviously mixed with water. You put a wetting agent in it, and you're not looking at something like diesel added to it, which increases your cost. And then your wetting agent you leave to the very end. If you put your wetting agent in too early, you'll just end up with froth everywhere, and it makes a mess. Mixing the chemical, obviously you wear the proper rubber gloves, you've got a mask on to stop the fumes, and wash out, use the water to rinse out your containers when you're finished. We wear long sleeve shirts, cotton trousers, a good hat, a face mask to stop inhaling the chemical drift if it should come back on you, and yeah, you just drive pretty steady. Our process at the end of the day when we finished misting is we wash out the tank, we run clean water through the mister to get rid of the chemicals, and by that stage, you know, your motor and that's cooled down so we can check and refuel and just be ready to go in the morning. We don't leave any chemical in overnight or when we finished. Our protocol is that when you finish misting for the day, you wash the machine, you put water in the mister and wash it out, blow out all the chemical, so you're right to go next morning.
Summing up, misting is providing an effective weapon against rubber vine and bellyache bush when the conditions are suitable. Mist is delivered at 1 litre of chemical solution to 1 metre of travel. A constant speed is maintained so that a 400 litre tank empties over a measured 400 metre section. With continuing field trials, Desert Channels Queensland will be applying to have a chemical registered for misting. This technique is outperforming traditional control techniques, providing safer work environments, delivering more cost efficiencies to contractors and producers. DCQ at the forefront of research into control methods for invasive weeds in our productive rangelands.